let's pretend for a moment that you incarnate on planet Earth as a biped mammal and do a lot of inhalation and exhalation. And at some point in your life, you have children, and then you find yourself on a plane, and that plane goes down. And it's not a dream, it's not some sort of nightmare. It's not like you're going to wake up and it's like you're literally going down. And you have your life flash before your eyes. That entire experience of dying in a plane crash. Like the moments leading up to that, I don't know. I suppose you just breathe. It is what it is. There's not much you can do about it. And then I think for me, if I was going through that, I would just have to just pray that my kids know how much I love them. You know, that the people in my life understand that and get that. And so, as many of you are probably aware, the show is about getting to the soul of the matter. It's easy to look at someone's life story and to just brush it off, not really feel it. And then, of course, if you want to make any money or you want to have any sort of impact, we do so through honesty. And so our guest today, Cynthia Krantz, for episode 202, is the recipient of what I would refer to as the Obi-Wan moment, which is when Obi-Wan dies in Star Wars, he basically says to Luke, no, homie, I'm more powerful this way. And it seems crazy that would be the truth, but it is the truth. Having lost both parents, I guarantee you it is. It is incredibly powerful to have the spirit of someone that you love dearly with you. So our guest today is going to talk about that. She is the owner of Mezzo. I want to say there's some other word. We'll get it from her, but the only thing I stuck to is the Mezzo part, which is it's a marketing agency. Mezzo soprano, project to the back of the room, just really let them know that you're there. It's that sort of vibe. So we're going to hear from Cynthia about that origin story, among many other things. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere pleasure to welcome to the show, the one, the only, Cynthia Krantz.
Hi.
Mm-hmm. So. Can we talk about the plane? Can we talk about your dad in the plane?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I'd love to.
So what kind of plane was it? What happened?
Like amphibian. Crashed on takeoff.
On takeoff. Okay. I had envisioned it being up in the air. What does that mean, crashed on takeoff?
Was up in the air and didn't fully take flight. And he always said with lakes where the propeller is in the back, okay, he always said, he was like, these planes are not meant to glide. Lakes are not meant to glide. It's a specialty type of seaplane. He was like, if this plane runs out of engine or gas or anything, it's just going to drop. And that's exactly what it did. It just dropped. And he didn't make it. He was 62 years old. And he was a rock in my life. And he was the center of our family. And he was a man of mountain faith. And like 1,000 people came to say their goodbyes over the course of like a week. It was a testament to him, to who he was, and the people he touched.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, it's got to end.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, it's going to stop.
Yep.
That's one hell of a way to go.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one hell of a way to go. So I think when people are advertising now in 2021, it's a lot of people are doing this sort of thing. They're talking, they're getting out there. It is changing. So I'm not making the argument that we're some sort of revolutionary show and that the way we approach this. But I don't know, man. I guess if you're selling hot dogs, it's different. You're selling chutzpah.
Yes.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you hire a marketing person, it's like, bro, I'm going to war for you. There are so many people just blah, 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 you know, a lot of fake faces, a lot of, you know, just like, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. Because at the end of the day, and I'm not, how do I put this? If you're going to decide to market your business, the words are your weapons. They're your ammunition. And you're picking a general to lead the battle. You're picking a warrior to go fight on your behalf. And so that's why these kinds of stories about what those warriors have been through is relevant.
100%. Because you don't, as a marketer, being a yes man doesn't get anybody anywhere. Like, you have to pull in your experience and your experiences and say, this is where we're going. And it may not be the direction that the client's always thinking originally, but you have to, as you said, you have to marry the client vision with the chutzpah.
Right. Yeah, it's really that simple at the end of the day. And so it's my thesis that these sorts of experiences, knowing these sorts of things about the people that you're hiring, makes it possible to develop a real relationship. Because as you mentioned, a yes man, they might come up with clever ideas, but are they going to stand by them? And then how profound of a relationship are you willing to build with another human being that you're hiring as a vendor? So if they're an employee, you could make the argument that it's a more, I mean, intimate's not the right word, but it's a, what's the word to describe it? It's just a more, I don't know. Help me out with this, Cynthia. Like, what's the difference between hiring?
Personal.
Yeah, personal. Thank you. It's more, yeah, like if you have great employees and you really love and care for them, you're gonna know about their life, the marriages, the kids, the this, the that. You're gonna want them to make a lot of money. I don't know, business owners out there, you're gonna get this, man. Like when you hire people, man, you want them to succeed. You want to give them the big old house, the debt free, the financial freedom, the no money stress. You want to give that to them. Well, that's not even true. You're not giving them squat. You want to help earn it with them.
Earn it. Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so you got into marketing through a friend of yours. What was the story of how you got into this?
Well, I started off, what I didn't tell you is that I started off in a big ad agency in New York.
Oh, okay.
Production house of a big ad agency in New York after I got my bachelor's. Then I got the call from my boyfriend of 4.5 years, long distance, saying, hey, I'm moving to West Virginia. If you move, I'll marry you. So I moved.
Stop. All right. Okay.
It's messy.
You are in an ad agency in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have a boyfriend of 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time.
Yep.
You were almost friend zoned. I mean, that's a long.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're going on year 4.5. I think a lot of women would be like, not today, Satan. Like not doing it. 4.5 years, you hold in there. And then this dude's like, you said long distance. So where was he? Where were you?
He was in South Carolina, then he was in Spain, then he was in Ohio, and then he moved to West Virginia.
Okay, so he's bouncing all over. You must really love that dude.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Okay, so he's doing that whole song and dance. That's a lot of faith too, to have an individual, right? That, you know. Okay. And then he said, move with me to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that.
Yep.
And he marries you.
Yep. 5 months later.
You marry each other.
Yeah. 5 months later, we got married.
Okay. All right. And then ad agency, get me to the marketing.
So then I got my master's and worked in healthcare for a while because West Virginia is not the bastion of advertising, or it wasn't 11 years ago. And then fast forward. My son gets sick. We're moving to Cleveland. And a friend says to me, come back into the industry, come project manage for me. I started working for her. Then she said, I'm out of the game. Take your biggest clients and go launch your own agency. And that was 2019. And I launched Mezzo.
Right. So you were working with a friend.
I was working with a friend who was a mentor of mine at the ad agency in New York. She had launched her.
Okay. So it all comes around to this ad agency.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
I keep in touch with everybody.
Good for you. I do not. I don't do that. Okay. And so can we talk a little bit about the medical stuff we were talking about before, the bipolar? Is that?
Yeah.
We can talk about that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Cynthia shared with me backstage that I don't want to use the word suffers with. I mean, you could maybe correct me and say that is an appropriate way, a verb to describe it, but has, I don't know what the verb is to best describe bipolar.
Yeah, certainly not I am. That would sound
right. That's too much.
Excessive.
Right.
I have bipolar 2, and
Okay.
I have suffered from it at
Right.
times. That's
Right.
what it is.
Okay.
Could you?
Yeah. Could you describe having bipolar 2 in a beautiful way? Is there a way of looking at it like a canvas that's like a Jackson Pollock and saying, you know what, it's not everybody's cup of tea. You may not like it. You know what I mean? I may not even like it at times, but it's got this exquisite beauty to it. Or is it, no, it's bad, dude. It just is what it is.
It's something that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy.
Right.
But it has taught me to be more empathetic, more sympathetic. It has made me more self-aware. I feel the way I feel sorrow so deeply. It gives me the capacity to feel joy extraordinarily. So I having gone through that darkness at different times, I really do appreciate the light. And I think it's been such a formative part of my adulthood. And I'm blessed that it comes from my genetics, not from my situational. A lot of mental illness can be situationally derived. And I remember sitting in the head of Columbia Presbyterian's bipolar research office. And he looks at me with my parents and he says, I've never had this much health in my room. Like, you come from a stable family, you know, everything. We're just dealing with the disease here and we can help you. And they did. And so I would say that, I mean, I take medication every day. I do therapy every week. I have an amazing therapist. And it's given me fortitude because I know what I'm capable of overcoming.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to feel the same way about this thing I'm going through right now in my eye, where I'm seeing this cobweb just constant, like I'm in a snow globe of cobweb all the time. And it's just maddening. It's maddening. And what I've found is it's made me more honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a more honest person than I was. It's rocked me. I mean, and I feel the same way. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I don't want them to suffer through this. This horrible sight is so important. When you're young, you think, oh, my sight's fine. Like, it'll get worse when I get older, but I'm good for now, you know, and then this sort of thing happens. You go, okay, well, never mind. Scratch that, you know, scratch that idea. So I had like a real genuine smile the other day, and I really appreciated it. I was like, whoa, smiled. I hadn't seen you in a while, buddy. Like just by myself walking outside, because that's the worst of it. That's when it's at its worst, and so, yeah, it carves us. Suffering carves us like marble. We get chiseled into this sort of thing. And look, philosophically, I know I'm not my body. I'm aware of that. Like at least I believe that. Everyone believes different things. Whatever consciousness, you can say it exists only as a cause and effect of the mind. You could take a very scientific approach on that. That's fine. But for me, it's not any book that anyone's written. It's the testimonials of people that have died that come back. That's what really rocks me. That's my evidence with my scientific mind of near-death experiences. These people are like, whoa, dude, I am not my body. Guarantee it 100%. They're like, just am not, sorry, not, it's no. And they can come from any walk of life. They can be your most stringent skeptic on planet Earth. They're like, I guarantee you I'm not my body. So it's just, it's the spacesuit, put on your spacesuit and live the life, live the avatar. So one of the reasons why I would be interested in working with you is because you've gone through this stuff. Do you ever fear that clients are afraid of the bipolar 2, that they feel like, oh, dude, I can't hire this person. Are you crazy? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because I'll just say it, and they're thinking it. She's nuts. Yeah, she's crazy. She's gonna fall apart. She's gonna, you know what I mean? I ain't no charity case. I got kids I'm raising, like this whole, I can't possibly. So, talk to me about that.
Well, that's where it took me a long time to speak about it publicly. And then I just realized, like, I'm sorry, there's no shame to it. So I'm over it. Like if I had cancer, I'd tell people and they wouldn't judge me for it. So like walk a mile in my shoes and see if you can survive, like have a little respect, and then I also realized that I have now 15 years of a track record of somebody who shows up and delivers.
Right.
So the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
I don't miss work, and I don't not deliver for my clients or my colleagues or my family. And some of it's because I am a disciplined person, and so that really helps. But it also is something that I am a stubborn person. So I'm like, well, dang it, I'm not going to let this affect me. So we're just going to blast on through until we get to the other side, So I think that combination allows me to cope with it. But am I afraid that clients are going to judge me for it? I used to be really afraid of it. And then I was like, whatever, this is I was more afraid when I was working in corporate America.
Right.
Than I am that somebody was going to not hire me or something like that. And now I'm like, this is my business. You don't want to work with me because I have something that I can't control, then I do not want to work with you.
Right. And have you ever had an interaction with a client where you mention it and it's been anything other than overwhelming positivity?
No. And for the most part, it doesn't even come up because it's just like, as I said, it's like, for the most part, it doesn't come up.
Right.
I share if I'm doing something where I'm speaking on it. I had a business sort of. I have a relationship with another business that I collaborate with, and before I spoke on it this past year for the first time, that I was doing a real big reveal on it. I reached out to the business partners and I said, by the way, I said the video, you should be aware before I go speaking on this.
Right. I'm about to go tell these people, right?
I'm going to tell all these people. And if you don't want me to drop your name in this, that I'm associated with you, I totally understand. And they wrote back and they were like, power to you. We are proud of you. We think you're doing awesome. We think you rock. We love you. And go for it. And we're just hoping you go help people.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Right. I totally get it. Chili Wanders writes, I would rather work with someone who's been through a lot. They have grit. Thank you for your comment, Chili. And Caroline, such a great mindset. Cynthia, join us for the live show, folks. 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, youtube.com/SendItRising. Write your comments in chat for our guests. So Cynthia, I think that behind the we're happy for you, that sort of thing, is we'll just fire her if she doesn't do her job, right? And that's and look at let me tell you this. So what? I'm gonna do my job. Yeah, like I'm not afraid of you, because this is the capitalist underpinning of everything, which is I will have a certain amount of empathy and sympathy for whatever situation you're going through, but at the end of the day, you need to deliver. This isn't a charity, and this is just the national consciousness. Am I wrong?
I think that on one level that's true. In this instance, as I've known these people for 15 years, I think they legitimately would support me if I needed.
For how long do you think? How long would they?
I think that's a question. I think that is a question of like, how long would they support me? But I think that they would say to me, like, we would certainly go through remediation before there would be some kind of like drop,
Right.
But I think the big thing is that I have on my side, as we've talked about it, is that it hasn't been an issue yet, but I've definitely had it on the flip side where I've had people that haven't delivered for me, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it's not right. Exactly. It's not like you're the only person, that could possibly inconvenience someone else with their life.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, whenever you throw out a word like autism or bipolar, this or whatever, everything, that's the frame that the artwork gets looked at through.
Right.
And everyone has a different interpretation of what bipolar means. So it immediately gets framed in this thing called bipolar. And then it could just be an orange dot, like a painting of an orange dot. And they go, oh, I see. The orange dot is the manic phase. And then the empty space around it is the depressive phase. And I really just, it's like armchair psychologist. Like, it's like, just because you put it in this particular frame. And to be fair, you're framing it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're choosing to frame it. And so, but they're going to come in with their judgments and thoughts and opinions on that frame.
And that's life, because they're going to judge you if you have kids. I mean, up until coronavirus, nobody had families, right? You didn't have a family. You weren't married. You didn't have a dog. You certainly didn't have a cat that was going to walk on your screen.
Right.
Everything was so whitewashed and blockaded off from the rest of your corporate world. And now that we're all in Zoom meetings, like half of us have our kids running around in the background and we're like, hey, we're sorry. And everybody else is like, it's okay, my kid's about to come in. It's like, as awful as this whole process has been, it's humanized us more.
Oh man. Here's what we have. Humanity. If you're listening, okay, sorry, we probably need to eat less meat. My bad. So that's number one. We need to reforest, right? We need to figure out whether the coral's dying because of ocean temperatures rising or because we're killing all the fish that are fertilizing those natural environments. And we've got some major systemic changes we have to do to make sure that this thing doesn't turn into a desert. You know what I mean? Like there's some serious work we got to do, humanity, to figure this out. And I just need to take a moment to say that, get on my soapbox. So we haven't even started. Here's the thing. There's 6 minutes left in the show. And we haven't even done the thing that we do in the show, which is we get your life story. So for you, we're probably going to get to about age 5. Just real quick, where were you born? I assume, because you mentioned before you had the happy sort of childhood, 2 parents in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So where was that?
So I was born in New York City, Mount Sinai Hospital. We lived on Roosevelt Island for a while, and then we moved, which is not common. Not a lot of people lived on Roosevelt Island. Okay. And then we moved out to New Jersey, Chester, the Morris County area. I have 2 sisters, and my parents were happily married for 36 years.
There you go. So Elizabeth Broughton Marsamane. Absolutely. We're all human. Thank you, Elizabeth, for swinging on by. We love you, and we're proud of you. So One of the things that bugs me about marketing is this notion that you just have to do Instagram. You know what I mean? Do you ever like
TikTok?
Or just it's TikTok. Just gotta do TikTok. You gotta blow up on TikTok. Snapchat. Or we need to do blogs. Gotta do blogs. If I just ranked in Google, if I just did Google ads the right way, if I just did Facebook ads the right way, it's like these are all weapons, right? They're just all weapons, man. Nunchucks and bow staves and machine guns and nuclear warheads and all this stuff. Some are more expensive than others. Some work better than others. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are you selling again?
Right.
You know, like what are you really selling? Okay. Like, let's be honest. Because if you're like a middle of the road plumber, you know what I mean? Not more expensive than that guy, not less expensive than that dude. Customer service. Okay, everyone's selling customer service. Right. So just be a middle of the road plumber with your middle of the road plumber advertising and don't expect to make a ton of money. Then fine. Then have a normal plumber salary. Right. Then this is what it is. Here's your $700 Google ad spend. You do some blogs, maybe some YouTube videos every now and then. Make sure you get Google reviews. Like, I can have the conversation with you in 2 minutes.
Right.
Unless you actually want to get creative and, I don't know, talk about bipolar 2. Feel me?
Yes.
Because like, what, you know what I mean? What the are we talking about, man? You know, like, what, you want to go on TikTok and like tell people how to like unclog a drain? Bro.
Right.
Come on, man. You like, use your head, use your heart. Like, what are we really actually doing or talking about? And I don't know why people are just so like, they want the money of a famous person without the sacrifices of being famous. Famous people are nuts many times. They are crazy and they do crazy stuff. You know what I mean? They're so honest. Like, dude, I teared up at the start of this show talking about your dad dying in a plane crash. You want to tear up at the beginning of a show, plumber? Like, what are we talking about? So willingness to put yourself out there in a way that people think you are absolutely nuts. You know, like, it is what it is. And then you can sell your soul. You can do it that way. You can try to put on a face that you're this, you're that, my life is this. Oh, here's my yacht and here's all my stuff. And yeah, good luck with that. Go down that path for a while. Let me know how that turns out for you. Where all the followers that you amass love you because of this particular way of being. That's all about the money or the glitz or the whatever, the drugs, the girls, like that whole thing. So, okay, go down that path. It's waiting for you, spend your whole life grinding that out. So I guess the real introspection for me is, who do you really want to be? What kind of relationships do you want to have? And then your marketing comes from that. And unless you hire someone like Cynthia, good luck having that conversation with your marketing team. That seriously, they're going to want to talk to you about like being vulnerable online. Right?
Right.
All right. So we got a couple minutes left. I want to hear the secret sauce from you. What's the secret sauce? I'm a business owner. What should I do?
The secret sauce is, which I've already touched on, is delivery. There is a lot of stuff. This is my piece. This is my nugget of advice that I give to anybody, that when they ask me that question, like, what's your advice? It's not about having a certain amount of followers on TikTok or a certain amount of followers on Instagram or about having the best blog content or whatever. It is about delivery every time. It's not even about like having the best customer service. It's about delivery. There are a lot of things you cannot control in this world. We know that, right? Like, we've lived that. But you can wake up and decide if you deliver for your colleagues and for your clients and for your family. And if you do that, that's where success will come from. Because you will make them successful and they will come back to you and they will refer to their friends. It's delivery. And I've had people that are the best at what they do and they do not deliver. So they're not the best. Inconsistency is damning in the marketing world.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Cynthia Krantz getting, dare I say, a little spicy with that message. She's like, you better deliver. I will headbutt you. I don't know why her go-to attack is a headbutt. It could be all sorts of things, but I was just going with the headbutt.
I'm a Pachycephalosaurus.
A Pachycephalosaurus. Pachycephalosaurus. There's your 7 syllables, ladies and gentlemen, to round out the show. I hope you've liked it. I've definitely enjoyed myself on today's show. We're going to hopefully have Cynthia back on the show for round 2. Marketing as a foreign language every single 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, live on YouTube, youtube.com/Send It Rise. You can also like us on our Facebook page. Just type in Send It Rising. That would be the name of my company. SEO, pay-per-click, Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, graphic design, websites, and all that stuff. You know the drill. Ladies and gentlemen, final word from Cynthia.
Life is messy, but life is beautiful.
Amen. That's the show for today. We'll see y'all